Hello and welcome to the selection statement module in Java programming. Selection statements are every so often you're going to have to make, or your program's going to have to make a choice. And selection statements deal with kind of if-else statements and um, whenever a choice needs to be made and how that's going to be dealt with. So the example in the document that comes with this module um, gives you an example about if a person goes shopping and has $10. If the item costs less than $10, then it can be purchased, but anything that costs more than $10 can't be purchased, so you'd have to make a choice. Can it be purchased or not purchased? Something I always suggest when we get to selection statements is that now your programs could potentially start getting bigger as you have more programming tools and things that you're using. Your programs will get a little more robust. So I would recommend, kind of sitting down, and whether you do this on paper or not, I guess is up to you, but thinking about an algorithm, which, is kind of a step-by-step set of instructions that you're going to use to design your program. Maybe writing down or typing up some pseudocode. What I like to do is I like to open my my program and start it with pseudocode. So just to give you an example of that, if I were to open a new Java program, let's see. The first thing I might do is type down the name of a program, and then I might type down the purpose, or type out the purpose of that program. This helps me keep my thoughts straight. From that purpose, then I would start putting in some pseudocode. So usually I have to get some information. So I would just put down what information I need and then, or what information I want to get. Now again, this is pseudocode, so it's all just comments. I haven't written any code yet. And then usually I have to make some calculations. So I would put in a make calculations section and all the different types of calculations that I'd have to make. And then usually after that, I want to give some outputs. So I would put down all the things that I want to have come out, whether they're formatted or not. And then that'll help sort of guide me through my program as I'm ready to start typing it up later. So that's just a technique that I use. Um, Some people use flowcharts, and I have an example of what a flowchart might look like. For example, if the choice to be made is on, some variable called grade, if that's over 60 or equal to 60, if that turns out to be true, then maybe a variable called status gets flipped to P for pass. If it's false, then it gets flipped to F for false. The important thing to understand when you're working with these decision-making selection statements are relational operators. So one key here is that a double equals compares two things to each other, double equals sign. So, x double equals y actually goes and compares x to y. And it gets flipped true if it is equal, or false if it's not equal. It does not work with strings, so note here that it's different with strings. With strings, you have to use this dot equals, this method selector as a dot. The word equals is a predefined word, and it works with strings so that if x and y are both strings, using a dot equals, we'll compare those two strings with each other. Okay, let's see. A single equals sign is an assignment operator, and so um, if you want to assign the value of what's in variable y into variable x, you use a single equals sign. They are distinctly different, so just try to keep that in mind when you're programming. And then, of course, we have greater than, which is exactly like any other greater than, compares. Greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. The exclamation point indicates not, so not equal to, or you can also just use not if this is not true. So that would mean it's false. And you'll probably have reason to use all of those at some point. I'm going to stop the recording here and we will start up again in the next recording if you want to click on that when you're ready to go. For now, you could um, either stop here and just read the rest of the document or click on the next recording if you want to continue on.